how are you guys doing? Good evening. I hope you're all are having a great Thursday overall. It's amazing that we've got this far in the week. Welcome to another episode of the PrePT Grind Chat Live, where every single Thursday we come on here live to take care of y'all. But tonight's topic is one that is based off of a conversation I had with a PrePT yesterday that brought back a conversation I had way back when I was in college. And we're going to talk about that tonight. And Casey will be joining me on here. For those of you that are new to this page, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. If you're a pre-PT, you are in the right place. And Casey, who's about to join me on here, really, like, our purpose and goal is to make sure that y'all have everything you need to get yourself locked in to a PT program, because we know that for the majority of you in here, what's up, Jeremy? For the majority of you in here, that's the main goal. So we want to make sure you guys have everything you need. Let me invite Casey. All right. For those of y'all that are here, I can't see all your names. So if you wouldn't mind just like saying hi or doing a little hand emoji so we can call your names. But I do see Jeremy, Brandon, and Paul. Great to have you all here. And tonight we're going to talk about, we kind of trace it back. So a lot of times when I get on calls with students, Casey, we're usually trying to solve some kind of a problem, whether that's the GRE, whether that's, applying, whether that's like going through the frustration of, trying to reapply again. And that's what makes it hard for the most part, right? Is just kind of feeling like you're trapped. It's like, man, okay, if I'm applying again, if I'm doing the GRE, maybe the second time, the third time, the fourth time, what sucks is just kind of feeling trapped and stuck. And that's what creates a lot of doubt. And that's where a lot of students end up being, right? So I had a conversation yesterday with a student who, amazing pre-PT student who's currently having some frustrations with the GRE. And as we were talking about it, and I don't know if you guys can relate with this, as we were talking about it, she was like, well, Joseph, I'm just kind of like getting kind of fed up. What's up, Samuel? How you doing? Great to have you guys on here. Like she's like, I'm kind of like I don't know where else to go. Like, I feel like I'm doing all the right things. I'm doing what I'm being told I should be doing. I've studied the right way. I've done my practice tests. I've focused on my weaknesses. And for some reason, like, I'm capping out on what my score is, whether it's the GRE. And for you, it might be something different. For you, it might be like your application cycle, your application process. For you, it might be the chem class you're taking for the second time. And you're saying, man, like, I took this before and I still feel stuck. Like, I still feel stuck. I still feel like I can't get the grade that I need. It might be physics. For me, those are the big two that gave me a hard time. And it might be biology. It could be so many different things. It could be taking a year off. Whatever it is, hers is the GRE. And the conversation we had was a little different. I think she expected me to kind of give her tips on what she should do. And I said, tell me everything you're doing. And I said, you're actually doing all the right things. And she's like, so why am I still stuck? And so what we did is we actually went into the conversation a little deeper, because the topic for tonight is based off of what you guys saw at the top. At the top, it said, and she said to me, it's not blank blank, right? It's based off of a conversation I had in the past, and I'll tell you what those words were in just a few seconds. But as I'm talking with this pre-PT yesterday, she's like, Joseph's like I don't get it. Like, what else am I supposed to be doing? Like, what else am I supposed to do? Like, I'm trying. I'm doing everything, and it's just like, it's frustrating me, and I could hear the frustration in her voice, and I was like, yo, like, you have every right to feel that. You have every right to be upset. You have every right to be like frustrated with this exam that it's like, it just seems impossible. But then I said, like, what's really going on? Like, what are you scared of? I just kind of opened it up. I had no idea what the response was going to be. Giselle, how are you doing? Great to see you. Like, I had no idea what the response was going to be, Casey. Like, I just kind of opened it up because, like, I just knew how, like, that if she was doing everything right, there has to be something else that's holding her back on game day. Like, if practice tests are going well, if everything else is, like, there has to be something that's actually throwing her off when she's sitting down for the real thing. So she started to kind of unload, and she said, well, the school that I'm trying to get into, like, there's one big school that I've been trying to, like, I actually moved to where I'm at because of this school. and like I'm having a lot of doubts as to whether or not I can get in or not. And I was like, okay, go on, and that's common. So if you guys are struggling with that right now, that's actually very like it's normal to feel like man, like I don't think this is gonna happen. Now, is it the like would I recommend thinking that way? No, but I know it's hard. I know it's hard, especially when you're kind of taking like so many different things at once, and it's just the anticipation that comes with it. But for her specifically, she's like, well, there's this specific school, Joseph, that I've been trying to get into. I moved to this part of the country because of this school, and I really don't think I'm gonna get in. And I was like, well, aside from the GRE, is there anything that's telling you that you won't? And she said, well, no, but I just don't feel like I'm gonna get in. I was like, well, tell me more. Like, what else are you afraid of? And she started to kind of list to me like the people that she was afraid of disappointing, family members, and so I realized I was like, do you realize how much you're carrying with you? And she's like, what do you mean? Like, I was like, do you realize how much you're carrying with you? Like every time you're going in, like, and for you, Jennifer, great to see you, fam. Like for you, it might be your classes. For you, it might be like the cycle that you're currently in. You might be a freshman starting out and you're like, oh, I'm just trying to figure out, what's going on with this whole pre-PT thing. But the honest truth is, regardless of where you're at, like most of you are carrying more than you need to. And I was like, do you realize that every single time you go in and take the exam, you're carrying all that with you? You're carrying this weight of this school that you've moved for. But it means even more because you've moved locations, you like live close by, like you're pretty much banking everything on that program. You have like family things that you're kind of like that are holding you back, maybe other classmates that have gotten a little further along, like whatever it is. And I was like, girl, listen, like, and I'm not gonna give the name of the student right now, but this student is a student that is like well, like, okay, let me put it this way. This is a student who's a pre-PT, has a business, has like the degree level is redonkulous, like more education than I had before I went to PT school. Just the accomplishments, I was like, what? Like, this is someone that has literally, in my eyes, like, that would have been the person that would have intimidated me, to be honest, right? It's like, that's the student that is absolutely tearing it up. But we all have fears. And hers were based off of like certain key things that she was like carrying with her. And for her, it was the school. She was like, I just don't think. And then we dug deeper. I was like, so you have all these things going for you. You've worked your tail off. Why do you still think you're not going to get into that program or any other program? And then she said it. She said, I don't think I deserve it. And I was like, oh, what's up, Savannah? I was like, oh, that's where the problem is. And let me ask you this before we go any further. For those of you that are joining us live right now, like, how many of you feel like that right now? Or how many of you have felt that at all? Where you get to a point where you say, like, I really don't think I deserve this. Like, if that's you, just feel free to let me know in the comments. But I sure have. I sure have multiple times. I sure did as a PT student, as a pre-PT. I, I sure did last year. There was a time last year where like I didn't even feel like I deserved to be the person that like helped pre-PTs. I don't think y'all knew that. Like last year there was a time when I actually like Casey and I were talking and well, pretty much I was ready to send Casey a message that said, hey man, like pretty much I don't feel like I deserve to help. Like, isn't it crazy sometimes? Like I told him like pretty much like I didn't actually send the message. I almost did. My wife stopped me, but essentially I was getting ready to say, Casey, how about you run pre-PT grind by yourself? And it wasn't because I didn't love pre-PT grind. It wasn't because I didn't love pre-PTs. It was because like I didn't feel like I deserved it. I felt like there like it's almost like sometimes we create these thoughts in our head that you have to have certain accolades, You have to be a certain person. You have to be a certain type of person. You have to have certain grades. Your GPA has to be at a certain level. You have to get in your first shot to deserve it. You have to have a 3.7 or higher. You have to crush your GRE on the first take. And for me, it was just it was just insecurities that I had. Insecurities that sometimes I still have. And the honest truth is, like, it clouds so many things that we have. Like, what would have happened, y'all? Like, what would have happened? What would have happened if I had said, hey, Casey, like, I'm done? What would have really been happening? What would have really been happening is I would have actually, like, held back a gift that I had been given. Now, Casey would have still kept killing it, but I would have held back a gift. Like, this is an opportunity to be able to serve, right? And so I would have been holding back a gift simply because I didn't feel like I deserved it. And this student was in the same situation. She was like, I don't think I deserve to be in that program. And she actually started tearing up because that was it. Like, that was the underlying reason that was holding her back from doing well on her GRE when she was crushing her practice exams and her studying and her prep. Like, everything that she was doing, I was like, you're doing everything right on the outside. And this is why it's really easy to see someone doing things on the outside and assuming that they have it all together. But we all have our different fears. We all have our different insecurities. And for a lot of us, like, when we feel those moments where we're like, I don't know if I really deserve this, it actually messes everything up, which goes back to the title for tonight. The title for tonight is, and she told me it's not about you. And that was based off of a conversation I had had when I was in college. And this is what kind of came back to my head when I was talking to this student yesterday. Like, I just remembered a conversation I was having with a friend of mine when I was in college, and I was going through y'all, I've had insecurity issues for years. Part of it is, like, I don't know, we have them at different levels. And back then they were pretty rough. I hadn't started, like, working on them like I have now, but it was rough, y'all, like, rough. And so it was one of my friends that I had, kind of, like, told what I was struggling with, and, like, anxiety issues and just different things. And she said, Joseph, can I tell you some words that might sound really, really, like, rude and heartless? And I was like, sure. She said, it's not about you. I was like it kind of took me aback. I don't know, like, I didn't necessarily like the sound of it. She said, it's not about you. And I actually, like, borderline got offended as I thought about it later. Because, hey, when you have insecurity issues, what are you going to do? Like, overthink things and think it's the worst possible meaning of it. But I actually did not get the meaning of it until years later. Isn't that funny? I didn't get the meaning of it until years later. What she really meant was, the things that are holding you back, you think it's because of you, Joseph. When we're afraid of things going wrong to us, we're actually, like, thinking about only ourselves. When I almost pulled the plug on PrePT grind, y'all, and it's not because I don't love you. I love y'all, like, big time, right? But it was because I had insecurities. It was about me all of a sudden. Borderline selfish, if y'all ask me. It was about me. And when we flip it and we say, it's not about me, it's about those that are going to be receiving from me, my gift, whatever I'm trying to give, it actually changes everything for you. Like, it changes the whole game. Like, when I told that student that yesterday, she was like I could kind of hear that, like, it's almost like a load had been lifted off her shoulders. So if for anything tonight, I just want to lift the load off your shoulder tonight. If you have been struggling with the same things that student was, if you've been struggling with this burden of feeling like you don't deserve to be a physical therapist, you don't deserve to get in the program you're trying to get into, you don't deserve to get the score you're trying to get on the GRE, you don't deserve to get an A on your chem class this semester, you don't deserve to do this, you don't deserve to do that. If you guys are struggling with that, well, you know what? Let me make it easy on you. It doesn't have to do with you. You're a vehicle. You're a vehicle. You have to ask yourself, like, who am I doing this for? Who is this really about? Is this about my patients? My future patients? You know, we always say that your patients are waiting for you on the other side. Is this about my family? Is this about me being an example to my cousins, my nieces, my nephews? If you have kids, like, is it about that? Is it Is it about showing my family members what's possible? Because like for me, y'all, I'm like I was born in Kenya, so for me, like coming to the States is such a big deal. Like I don't think y'all realize how blessed you are, but to be able to like go for a profession and still have a job in it afterwards is unheard of, right? So for me, it's like every time I start, like I almost get in my way. Every time I start freaking out for that student, every time now that she starts thinking, I don't deserve to be in that program. Like now when she's preparing for her last take, I say her last take because she's going to dominate that GRE the next time. Like now that she prepares for her last take of the GRE, she realizes this is not about me anymore. It's not about who I feel I'm going to disappoint. It's not about it's not about me. It's about the people that are waiting for me to serve them. It's about the people that are watching me right now as I push through my fears, as I push through my anxieties, as I push through what I'm stressed with. Like that's who it's about. And if you've been catching yourself in this cycle of just feeling like worn down, oh my goodness, what if this happens? What if that? You're being selfish. And I'm not saying that to be rude. Trust me, y'all. Like when I first heard that, like that it's not about you, I actually got upset. I was like, yo, like what? Like what you mean? Like I'm out here like frustrated. I'm stressed, and you're gonna tell me but years later it made sense. It's almost like a key that unlocks the chains that have been kind of holding you down. The stress you've been feeling, the overwhelm. Like sometimes you want to ask yourself, like, what am I really afraid of? We tell ourselves, oh, I just don't want to get a bad grade, or I just don't want to get rejected, or it's my friends. Like, what is it? If it's my friends, what is it? Is it because I'm afraid they're going to judge me? Is it because I'm afraid they're going to think I'm less intelligent than they are? Is it because I feel like they're going to be ahead of me, and because of that, there's always a reason. There's always a reason, but at the end of the day, those reasons have to do with me. And until I can accept that it's not about me, until I can start looking and saying, what am I really doing this for? Who am I really doing this for? Then things start to change. Y'all, I can tell you right now, what's up, Lizzie? What's up, Michael? Well, I can tell you right now, like, y'all, like what we do with PrePT Grind, it does not matter if I'm like sick. It does not matter if I'm in my feelings. It does not matter if I have anxiety. It doesn't matter. Like what I've realized is this company, PrePT Grind, is not about me and Casey. It never has been. And the more Casey and I remind ourselves of that, the more we're able to serve you better. Because we realize that who it's really about is you. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, like a comment makes sense below, but it's not about you. And that's probably like the best news I can give you tonight. It's not. Casey, what are your thoughts, boss?
Man, this message goes deep on a lot of levels, I think. And like, even going back to when we presented at SSPT Live, Myron Golden told us, like, I was like, how do you get over, do you still have fear of getting on stage? How do you get over this? And he said pretty much the same thing. Oh, it's not about me. Everything that he says on stage, everything that we said on stage, even this live stream, everyone is thinking about their own situation and how it relates to them. On stage it is, even on this live stream it is. When you were talking about your whole everything you were saying, all 5 people, all 11 people, whoever watches this on replay, are specifically thinking not about you, but about how what you're saying relates to their specific situation.
Exactly.
So we could be 2 Hawaiian guys from the Honolulu, as long as our love for PrePT stay the same, as long as our message is the same. It doesn't really matter who's given that message, as long as the other person gets what they want. And this goes deep into the whole application cycle, I think. And me thinking about every part of the application as you were talking, if we use this strategy, if you guys even want to call it a strategy, use it. If you use this strategy for every aspect of your application, how much better would your application possibly be? How do I stand out? Make it about the other person. Make it about the person you're observing.
Yeah.
Make it about do I sound like I'm breaking up or something?
You're good, bro. You're good.
At least I hear it in mind. But make it about the other person, the patients that you're seeing as a tech, as a TA, as a whatever it is. When you're writing your essay, whatever that is, when I'm reading the essays, I'm always like, well, okay, this is great. When I'm looking over resumes, okay, this is great. But what about the other person? Like, what are you just talking about yourself? Or are you worried about what they're going to think of you? Or are you even seeing how this can benefit them? What in your application can benefit the school? What in your application can benefit the PT profession? Because it's not about you. Like Joseph said, it's about the other people. So if you implement this quote unquote strategy into all aspects of your application, I guarantee you this will help you stand out. Because I'm pretty sure somebody watching on a replay or listening on podcasts are like, yeah, this is all cute and everything, but I need some strategy to help me get in. Bro, sis, like this is it. Stop playing. Listen. If you implement this into every aspect, it will show. It'll show. Because you're going to have to do the same thing as a physical therapist with your patients. It's the same concept. And it's funny because I see this as you were talking, I was thinking about like every aspect of life. When you go to the gym even.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks like everybody's looking at them, especially like if there's mirrors around for those of you who go to the gym a lot, you know, you're flexing, you're feeling good, you got a pump and you're like, yeah, I'm checking. Everybody else, you think they're looking at you in the mirror. No, they're really looking at themselves. True. Like they're really looking at themselves thinking everybody else is looking at them.
Isn't that true?
It's crazy. It's ridiculous. So whether that's the gym, whether it's speaking on stage, whether that's applying to PT school, make it not about you, and your life will be so much better, so much easier. Your anxiety would go down 10 levels. Your stress level will go down 10 levels because, hey, it doesn't matter. I'm not at home right now. You know, my hair's not cut right now. You know, it's after a long day. I don't have, you know, I still got work clothes on. It doesn't matter. So what? So the same concepts, whether it's the GRE, whatever it is you're going through right now. Do what Joseph said. Because it's crazy. It goes with every aspect of life. So once I implemented it, once Joseph implemented it, it makes life a lot better. So use it, try it, then message us. Let us know how it goes. Let us know if you're struggling with this. Contact PrePTGrind.com and we'll talk. We'll hash it out. We'll make sure that this strategy helps you get accepted into PT school. So that's pretty much it.
Boom, boom. Lizzie, amazing to hear that it's helpful tonight. Hey, if you guys thought this was helpful tonight, first of all, just comment helpful both below. If you guys thought this was helpful, and we have plenty more coming, but we just want y'all to crush it. Really, that's all. That's what we really care about. And then lastly, Hannah, how are you doing? Great to have you here, and Alice, great to have you here as well. And then lastly, if you felt like this was really beneficial to you and this helped ease your stress level tonight, then tag a friend. If you have a friend that's in here or two friends that are in here that you're like, hey, this is a message that they'd value hearing, feel free to tag them. Let's crush it. Let's crush it. Yeah, Lizzie, very glad it helped you out. Let's freaking get it. Alma, great to see you. That's it. Alyssa, glad that it helped you as well. And if it helped you guys, just feel free to tag a friend in here and let them know, hey, you're going to need to listen to it because that's it. That's it. Y'all have an amazing rest of your evening. Have a beautiful Thursday. Much love.